I'm back again on Instant Kisse by Anand Sivkumaran. This week I'm doing something different. One story spread over 3 parts. That's right, I'm serializing the story. Each story will have its own prompt given to me by you guys. Part 1, the kickoff for the whole story, the prompt's been given by Mahua Mazumdar, and it is sleep. Rishi was having a rather bad day. 4th week of lockdown, the bhajiwala had only given karela and tinder, 2 vegetables that Rishi was not too fond of. In fact, he would have preferred to put salt and pepper on his chappals and eat them instead. In fact, in the night when he was actually eating the tinder, it did feel like he was chomping on his slipper. He tried to perk up his mood by watching television, but the smart TV started to act over smart with him. It just got utcored in one place, and unfortunately that too on a news video clip where this aggressive anchor was behaving like a rampaging rhinoceros, shouting and screaming and telling citizens that they would be jihadi terrorists if they didn't stay at home. Rishi gave it a shot, but 5 minutes in, his head was throbbing, his eardrums had gone numb, he couldn't take it. He shut the TV, decided to go to sleep, hoping tomorrow would be a better day. Just before sleeping, he made a wish that this will all get over, that he'd be able to get out, go to places, meet people, have fun. Guess what? Rishi's wish came true, albeit only in his dreams, because he suddenly found himself on a street. Now the thing with dreams is they just start randomly anywhere and all kinds of crazy things happen. That's exactly what was going on with Rishi. He was on the street, running, being chased by the same news anchor who was throwing tindas at him and saying, "Jihadi terrorist, go home." And that's when she came into the story. A woman, nothing extraordinary. I mean, you wouldn't have found her on a hoarding or a billboard or a magazine cover. But to Rishi, she seemed like the most beautiful woman he could see. Especially because she was in this Uber and she got the door open and she was like, "Jump in." And when the anchor came too close, she poured gaslit on his scalp and set his wig afire. Then she asked Rishi, "Where would you like to go?" The first thing that occurred to Rishi was the sea. Next thing they knew, they were on a yacht. Sea breeze in their face, waves splashing against the boat. These kind of things can only happen in dreams or in Bollywood movies. 1 minute you're in a slum in Dharavi, next minute a lake in New Zealand. I'm sure even if they made a movie about lockdown, there would be songs in it and the hero and heroine would be cavorting Sahara Desert or something like that. Anyway, coming back to our hero-heroine, the woman looked at Rishi, who was looking mesmerized by the waves. Said, "Lovely, isn't it?" Rishi was like, "Yeah, it's so inviting. I just wish I'd brought my swimming trunks." She was like, "Who needs trunks?" Rishi, you mean we jump in with all our clothes? She smiled, shook her head. Rishi understood. The woman was not self-conscious. She took off her clothes and stood there in the raw, looking so beautiful and sexy. In fact, to Rishi, more sexy than the Scarlett Johansson poster he had hidden in his bathroom all those teenage years. Now it was Rishi's turn. He took off his clothes but felt very self-conscious. There were those love handles, that beer belly, which hadn't come from 1 beer, more like 1,000. The woman didn't mind. She looked him in the eye, smiled, took his hand, and said, "Shall we?" And they did. Jumped into the water. It was icy cold at first, but then Rishi started to enjoy it. He looked towards the woman, smiled. She was smiling too, and then her expression changed. There was abject fear in her face. "Sharks!" he screamed. Rishi turned round. No black creature, no predator, no fin. But when he turned back, the woman was gone. Rishi panicked. Had she been pulled down by the shark? He dived in, looked for her, couldn't find her. And then he felt a tug on his leg. It had to be the shark, trying to pull him down to chomp on him at leisure. Rishi didn't want to be a Karela getting chomped on by a shark. He kicked out, fought, and broke free. And then when he reached the surface, he couldn't see the shark, but he could see her, smiling, For a moment he didn't understand, and then it sank in. As she said, "Gotcha!" She'd pranked him. Rishi went closer to her, grabbed her as if he was going to dunk her head, then brought her face close to his. His lips found hers. They explored each other's mouths, tongues. His hand caressed her cheeks, her ears, her earlobes, clasped onto the earring that she had not yet taken off. And then the doorbell rang. Bloody Doodhwala. I mean, even before lockdown, he would keep ringing the bell till you came and took the doodh ka packet. Now, because of social distancing, he'd ring the bell, leave the packet, run down to the stairs and wait till he could hear the sound of the door opening and shutting. Of course, the dream was over. Rishi found himself in bed. He was disappointed. He wanted to be back with the woman. Then something struck him. His shorts were wet. For a moment, he was very embarrassed. Then he realized his shirt was wet too. So was his hair. And there was something in his hand. Something cold and shiny. It was a woman's earring. I hope you liked the first part of the story. Second part coming later this week. Till then, keep sharing, keep sending me prompts. I need prompts for the next two parts. And full details on where you can do that coming up after this. Till tomorrow, sunshine in your day. And I also have an Insta live session on Wednesday at 6 p.m. where I'll be taking prompts and telling you stories on the spot. Prompt story. Be there for that. See ya.